So I'm here with Tom Strobl, the proprietor of Thunderbolt Lanes. Tom, first off, I want to thank you on behalf of the show for being our host all year.
You're very welcome. We're glad to do it.
So your family has been involved in the bowling business since you were just a young fry, right?
My family's been in the business continuously since 1942. My father was entrepreneurial, if you put it that way. He had a paper route, and he kept expanding it. He had kids that ran off of the runners that the cars had, or the side stepping areas. And so he accumulated enough money to build what is now known as Ramona Lanes. It's at 6 Mile and Gratiot. It was a 17-lane house. And believe it or not, I took a streetcar there from where we lived at Gratiot Otter Drive, and all through grade school and high school, my brother Jim and I worked there. And we started out hanging clothes or coats as people came in, finally graduated to emptying ashtrays and cleaning the lavatory. So, I mean, we did it all. But that's how we got started. And my dad had Ramona Lanes, and then he bought Royal Lanes. It was really, it was Warriors, and business was very good. And Royal was at Warren and Alter.
Okay.
And lo and behold, he's got 3 young boys, and he gets called into service.
Oh, jeez.
So he's off to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, training to go to Japan. And so my mother is left with these 2 facilities, and
raising you boys.
And raising us guys, yeah. And so my grandfather, who was a barber, came from Germany, but he worked down in the Broadway market. He left the barbering business and got into the bowling business.
Okay.
My dad comes back from the service, and he never went back in the bowling business, and my grandfather never left. So when I was young, growing up, I always worked through my grandfather, who was a great, great mentor. He did such a good job. If you can believe this, on 17 lanes, we would have 40 reservations on a Sunday.
Nice.
And the place was immaculate, just spotless. And that was his philosophy.
He gave you good genes as to how to run a bowling center. And then, obviously, then you and your brothers then kind of picked it up from there, right?
Right. Well, we had an opportunity in 1972 to buy Denby Lanes, and my brother Jim and I bought it together. And then in 1980, we had an opportunity to buy Arc. What was it? It was Arc East, but we renamed it Royal Lanes. It was 8.5 in Quinder.
Right.
And so Jim was running 3 places: Denby, Royal, and Ramona Lanes. You're doing a good job. And then we had an opportunity to sell Denby Lanes, which we did. And unfortunately, Ramona had a roof collapse. And so all those leagues went up to Royal. My father did rebuild the building, and it's still there, being used for other purposes. And so we wind up with Royal Lanes. That's an 80. And then I bowled with a fellow named Joe Paulus.
Okay.
And
remember Joe well.
Great guy, terrific bowler. And he was a partner with George Pribble and some of the other guys. And so he told me one day, he says, well, we're going to sell Thunderbolt. And I said, oh, that's great, Joe. Who are you selling it to? He said, I'm going to sell it to Jerome Bettis, the football player.
Okay.
His mother was an active bowler. He was a great bowler. And so I just kept in touch. And then he came in one day and we were talking, and he said, that deal fell through, doggone it. And so I said, well, Joe, can Jim and I make an offer? And so we, in 1997, bought Thunderbolt. And we had Thunderbolt and Royal. So Jim had really good management over at Royal, so he came over here. And so it's been, 22 years now.
Right,
We've been
right,
here.
right.
And then Jim and I had an agreement in 2008 that we would just exchange. I said, Jim, why don't you take Royal? I'll take Thunderbolt.
Okay.
And in the meantime, I'm practicing
law, right.
as an attorney, and but I've been really fortunate that over the years here that I've had great management
Right.
to work with.
And you got a great one now in Vicky.
I got a terrific general manager. Charlie Cassisi did a great job before
Right.
Vicky, and so it allowed me to continue with my real profession, and then set the tone for
Absolutely.
the place. But we have
It's in a place this large, it's all about your people.
yeah, it is.
Because you can't. I mean, even if you weren't practicing law,
Yeah.
you couldn't do it by yourself.
No, you couldn't. You couldn't. And we have just a terrific mechanic in Kevin Cosby. And I mean, we can have tournaments in here, and we really don't have any stops to speak of. I mean, equipment runs well. We have a 54-team league in the main bay on Wednesdays, and a lot of places would have said, well, let's have 2 breakdown pairs.
Right.
We go 54, and we never have a problem.
Right.
I mean,
That's
nothing that
excellent.
shut us down. We've got food service becoming more and more important. I'll explain that in a minute. But we were able to take back the kitchen and hire a chef that was at Western Golf Course.
Yeah, Chef Bob. We interviewed him
Yeah,
earlier this
for,
year.
for
yeah.
20 years, and he can go and prepare a burger, and he can put on a full course meal. I mean,
Excellent.
we've had the Gordy family in here, and he had to do salmon and all of these other fancy dishes. He did a perfect job.
did it
on
all.
Yeah. And then building maintenance is very important to us as well. We have a terrific gentleman in Joe Aprazizi, and he is
I know he's
coordinating.
been very beneficial to us in the shows this year. I know that.
Yeah. Well, take a look. This carpeting just went in.
It looks great.
And this is a new cleaned up flooring here. But Joe coordinated this whole thing, and I mean, he didn't lay the carpeting, but he pulled up the old one.
Right.
And
he oversaw the installation to make sure it was done the way you wanted.
Yeah. And they did kind of little special things, like if you go down, if you can look down, they put the carpeting all in through the bar up on the top.
Yeah, I tell you, it looks.
Up on the top over here, just accents. We're not done with it. We're going to do a little bit more, and we had some extra carpeting. We'll go up into the loft. So
things look great here, Tom. But such a big place, how do you fill it up?
that's the
$1 million question.
$1 million question. You're right. You're right. Well, I think first of all, Mark, you have to recognize, and I don't have to tell you, bowling is changing from a league-based system really to a combination.
Mm-hmm.
And we went down to Indianapolis, and Jim Doty down there, who's the general manager, told us, he said, we used to be 80% league, now we're 20. We used to be here at Thunderbolt, just when we bought the place, was 80% based. It's about 50% now. So
you do a lot of company parties too here.
We do. We have to take care of all these different customer bases.
Absolutely.
And league is so important to us, so we work on that very hard to give them the best experience that they can have. Now, if I could just go through, in our Cosmic Bay, we put a screen in, we have sound, we have a really good base for birthday parties. We just put an embed system as a card reading for our video games.
Okay.
And we're getting great traction on that. We charge $14 for the bowling plus
Plus the
those
cards.
pizza.
Then they have to load up the cards.
Well, we give them $7
Okay.
back on a card.
Okay.
So somebody says, hey, I can go down there. We've got a good selection of games, terrific, as a matter of fact. We have a card for $7, so really the party's only $7.
Absolutely.
And so we've been getting some good traction on that. And It's an area that we keep open during the week, and it's almost full every night here.
That's excellent.
And it's the first place that people go if they're coming in for open bowling. We just love it down there. So then, if you took the main bay here, we really attempt to fill it up with tournament fundraisers, those type of events.
Absolutely.
And like this weekend, we have the UAW. The following weekend, we have the DTE coming in for their tournament. Following week, we got Construction Association of Michigan. So we're pretty well booked all the way through May. And that, you need a good kitchen.
Absolutely.
You need a
good staff.
Good staff.
Everything.
Got to have the bar rolling.
Got to have the whole package. Well,
Yeah.
Tom, it
And let me just tell you back in here, though, we put in this screen, 13 by 26, all LED, and the picture's fantastic.
It is.
So we can now promote corporate events where they can do training and PowerPoint presentations, those kind of things on the screen. And we're going to look to do some other things on our Saturdays during the day. This, you probably are going to say, well, what are you thinking about? We're going to actually start promoting some weddings here.
Okay.
We got the kitchen that can do it.
We got the space.
We got the space.
Right.
And we got a loft up here with pool tables and everything, and we got this space. And we've done 2 already, and it's not somebody that's going to go to a country club.
Right.
But there's an awful lot of people that are looking for a venue as opposed to just
going to a hall.
Four-wall hall.
Yeah.
And so we can be very competitive with that.
Absolutely.
So we're starting to work with some party planners. But then what we do is we shoot on our screen football games, basketball games, and then in the evening we're subscribers to the Bowlers Music Network, and we have
So you
down
got
this
videos,
room,
music
the
videos.
VIP down here on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 21 and older, and you get a great experience. They'll take your order, take it down to the kitchen, bring your food, our people will, and we're shooting the music videos up here.
Okay.
And so there's a little dancing going on, and we just redid all our sound system. We did all our lights in here. So it's a great experience, and we've been packing this room.
Well, Thunderbolt, it's more than bowling. I guess that's the.
Well, you have to be today.
That's to me that's that's your little tagline.
Yeah,
it's more than bowling.
Yeah, no, that's good, Mark, and I like that phrase. But in answer to your question, you got to be doing all these things.
Absolutely.
And if you just rely on your league bowling and maybe a few parties here and there, it's not going to work. You got to be promoting everything.
That's right.
And that's what Vicky's so good at. She's a great marketer.
She is. Well, Tom, thank you very much once again for all your support of Bowling Showcase and the association over all these years. Your long, rich history in bowling is fantastic. We loved hearing about it, and thank you very much.
Great. My pleasure.